Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. I've got a balanced rack, no duplicates, scoring tiles in the J and the B, but I'm not seeing a bingo with this rack, either 7 or 8 letters long. It would be nice to play off the J, the B and the U. That may not be possible. Let me first consider bingos. Frabjous. Do I have that? Wow, that's unexpected. Let me quickly check the others. I, no. R, no. S, no. Wow, what a start. Frabjous for 72. Bang. Not such a good looking rack here, although there could be a 5 vowel 8, close to teeny E. Floating S's in 2 spots. Is that what I need? Well, I feel there could be a bingo here, but it's always hard to see. What about inertia E through the R? Yep, I think I have that. And that remains available. Just the one, well, there are 2 R's on the board, but this is the only one which plays. Inertia E for 60. And I think my bingo run ends here. Again, it's quite a nice rack, but I don't think we're quite in bingo territory. I note that Furs takes a T at the end for future reference, and because I've got it. Column 15 still available for triple triples and just single triple word squares. Particularly with IS, a play could end ISE or IST, and that remains available. So what's the best I can do in that spot? Can I get my K doubled? Don't think so. I'm again reverting to this N, just in case there is a bingo. But I'm not seeing it. And I can't see a way of getting the K doubled. So what about just any old thing in column 15? Because that's likely to be a good spot for whoever plays there first. And a K in any position should score quite well. I can see Lisk, but then I want to have a balanced rack leave at the end. What about a play ending ISE? Just obscure that E and have a look. Not seeing anything. Now, cab is good. So, I have oak in this spot for 38 points, which is a good score. Rack leaves pretty good. I don't think there's any way of improving it by playing in this spot. This is quite volatile. That's probably too strong a word, but I am opening up a hot spot in column 8. So is there a way of not doing that? I don't think so. I do want to score off the H. And telly's not a bad rack leave, especially with the floating N and I and IS. I'm going with this. Not a good pickup at all. Q without any good tiles to go with it. I do have cheese in column 15 and chi in column 5. Now, one thing I didn't look at was row H, which is a 5-letter hotspot. And I should have done that. I may have been able to get my K doubled last turn, so that was remiss. Just looking at this spot now. Wow, look at that. Amazing bingo by my opponent, 98 points. He goes into the lead by 25. So, what do I do in response? Well, I think I would like to get rid of the F and the Y for a decent score, with a view to playing the Q next turn and possibly drawing one of the 3 outstanding U's. So I have Phi here for 34. However, given the Q situation, and in any event, I think Felty is better, for it's more points and it turns over more tiles, which increases my chances of drawing a U or an I. I'm going with this. I do draw a U, fantastic. Rest of the rack not so good. However, Q and U together are generally a pretty good thing to have. So, what do I have? And I note last turn I could have played Felty and Oki, which would have taken out the column 8 danger. For a similar number of points. I no longer have this I for my Q, however I've got the U, so that's not a big deal. The E is not a great vowel to go with Q and U, so I'm not seeing a ton of options. Do I have a way of getting my Q doubled? Don't think so. So, what to do in this spot? What about a play in column 5? I have quite. Rackleaf's not too bad, it's balanced. 28 points is good. Can I score anything like that anywhere else? Don't think so. I'm going with this. Not good at all. The first really bad rack, no scoring tiles and unbalanced. I do lead by 20 points. Quite has taken out the row H danger and Tiny has taken out the column 8 danger. So the board looking a little less volatile. Row B quite hot for a high scoring tile on this triple letter square, which is where my opponents played. Now, I can actually sort my rack out quite nicely here with OG. I think that's the best I can hope to achieve for 22 points, and I'm denying my opponent access to that spot. I'm going with this. Wow, more 1 point tiles. Maybe we got rid of all the high scoring ones earlier in the game. Now 1 point tiles are generally bingo-y tiles, but in this instance I think the excess of vowels and the triplicate E mean that I don't have one. Just looking at the floating consonants, and the F is the main one. Not seeing anything there. And my lead, just 11 points. It won't take much for my opponent to overtake me. I don't have an I for Chi. Wow, fantastic bingo by my opponent, 73 points. Do I have an over bingo? And I don't. How annoying, really close. Can't see anything through the V. So I now trail by 50 or 60 points. What can I do about that? And still another blank to come, so before opponent played, no blanks had been played. Just checking again this F in case I have something through it, but I'm not seeing anything. What I'm really going to struggle to do with this rack is score. Just playing off double E would probably balance the rack the most, but that's going to score almost nothing. Only one E to come. Wow. Okay, so I'm plagued with something which is actually in short supply. One S, one blank to come. What about playing OE for 10? Not a good rack leave. I don't particularly want to hang on to the over prefix. It's not massively useful, or not as useful as it would need to be to justify retaining an otherwise unbingo-y set of tiles. Row D quite hot for a 7-letter lane, so I think I do need to open the board up elsewhere. The question is how best to do that. I don't like keeping L, N and R. If I play OLE, or even, well, I was going to say Sol, but IL not good. If I play OLE, I'm not opening a bingo lane. However, column 14 is a bingo lane, so I don't wish to obstruct that. OLE 13 points. And given the shortage of E's, this is quite a good rack leave. I'm going with this. Brilliant. I draw the second blank, and overall this rack is looking bingo-y. So, what do I have? And look at this. There's this floating E of felty. There's quite, which takes D and S. And there are other lanes available. So, it's not over yet, and row D available for 7-letter bingos. Let me in the first instance look for 7-letter bingos. 12 minutes on my clock. Not seen anything at all yet. So, do I have mergence? Not sure if that's good. If it is, it goes through the E of felty. So, is cremine good? I feel there's something here. Well, I don't think there's anywhere for that, even if it is good. Wow. Well, back-to-back bingos for my opponent, and he's gone in the best 7-letter lane. He's now got a 130-point lead, and is a strong favourite to win. Let me just check mergence. Yeah, so I do have that in column 3, and it will get doubled, so it's a good bingo. What would be a better one? Possibly nothing, in which case I might as well play this. So, mergence for 74. Well, what would be better would be maybe something which hooked quite. Can't see anything with the blank as a D or an S. Yeah, I'm going back to mergence. And I draw the Z. I trail by 50, so I'm really looking for a massive Z play, or to create one. I have pos in row A, top right, for about 50 points. Ponzu is good, I have that on my rack. Top left not good, because nothing goes in front of the V. ZE is good, so I might have a ZU or a ZO play. but not with my current rack. Still 10 tiles in the bag. Good score for opponent. He now leads by 70 or 80 points. 8 tiles in the bag. The trouble with pos is that it leaves me with 2 N's, which isn't great, and the U. And there aren't any lanes for UN bingos. Mergence only takes an S, and they've all gone, and there are no blanks. So column 14, the best bingo lane. And, well, maybe I could draw the tiles for Naunia. Pretty unlikely, and would allow a pretty scory response. So, anything better than pos? Just looking at the triple letter squares. Can't see anything there. Can't see anywhere good for Ponzu. So pos for 48. Well, nerdling onto a G. No G's available. In fact, very little of anything available. 30 points between us, but opponents on turn, so that's actually a pretty big margin. Now my N can go on the end of IO, and OWL takes a U, so I do actually have none in row K, NUN. It's not going to win me the game, but it is a scoring option. 18 points. 4 vowels left, so opponent could have a lot of consonants. And I was just looking at the I in tiny. That looks quite a useful spot for somebody who's short on vowels. 29 points and good scoring by my opponent. So this is what I was thinking of. None for 18. I don't have any scoring tiles, so I don't think there's terribly much I can do that's better than this. None for 18. And the bag is now empty. Just wondering if I should have played off 2 tiles, but there are just no bingo lanes on this board, apart from column 14. And that only really works with at least 3 vowels. More good scoring by my opponent. So, well, I'm just looking at his rack. I don't think he can go out in 1. In which case I can maybe plan to go out in 2. So I've got odd in column 1 for about 17 points, keeping a lig. Not seeing anywhere for that. So what about playing in row C? I've got rig in that spot for 23 points. Now, is there anywhere for Olid or Dial? Not sure there is, so can I do better than this? 7 minutes on my clock. Cud doesn't take anything after it that I have. Now, column 14 is available. Oh, well, I have idle in column 14, so I do have an out. It may be blocked, but I'm going with this. So do I have a second out? Not that I can see, but opponent's only got one vowel, so he'd have to put the A there, so I don't think he'd score very much in that spot. I think maybe the best he could do would be AT, because ab or ad, I could respond with dial. Well, he doesn't take that spot, so I can now go out. So anything better than idle? Well, not that I can see. So idle for 12. And the final score, 456 to me, 509 to my opponent, a winning margin of 53 points, so well done to my opponent. Let's see what I missed. Quite a high scoring game. And it was my opponent to go first. He played furs, which was great because I had Frabjus, which is a fantastic start. Opponent's rack plays Z, and I have Inertiae for 60, so couldn't wish for a better start really. Opponent plays Ha, and this was my rack, and there was a double-double in column 5, Oat-like for 44, and Toe and Tea-like. I think any of those would have been better than my play. Well, except I played Oak for 38, only 6 points less, and my rack leave of double ELT is better than E. Probably not 6 points better, but it will be a couple of points better, so there's not a huge difference in those moves. And this was a fantastic spot by my opponent. 9-letter play for 98 points, the only bingo available. And he now leads by 20. Wow, I lift, where's that? Another double-double, column 5. Well, that would have been the play. Instead, I play Felty for 42, which is certainly second best. Wow, opponent misses a bingo. Eternity and Entirety through the E of Felty, and plays Tiny, so a bit of a let-off for me. Just 7 points between us now. I play Quite for 28, Queenie E6. Queenie also available, but Quite a better play. Opponent plays Water, and look at this, we're still very close. I play OG for 20, and Jelly was available for 25. 5 more points. Is Eel 5 points better than EO? It's not, but it is a better rack leave. And, well, I don't think it's 5 points better, but I think it's better. So not terribly much between those plays. And now, just 11 points in it, but the game is about to explode into action, or further action, as opponent has Aviator, and it is again the only bingo available. I'm sitting here with this rack. Wow, I didn't consider Requite for 32. That would have been worth considering. I play Olay for 13, but Requite would have been better. And look at this, Requite would have blocked my opponent's bingo of scoring, but he would have had co-reigns through the E and other bingos available. So I trail by 120, but I draw well, and I play Mergence for 74. It was the only bingo I saw. However, G3, there was cementer and cement and re-cement all through that E, which would have scored more. I trail by 50. Opponent on turn plays cud, and I couldn't see anything better than pos. So I now trail by 30. 5 in the bag. Opponent plays wed, so there are 2 in the bag. C11 nid. Yeah, I think probably playing off 2 to keep 7 would have been the only way I could have had a hope of winning, but I think it's a pretty forlorn hope. I think the number of available bingos is likely to be 0 or close to 0. Anyway, I play none. Opponent plays imp. No out. I do now play in that spot with rig. Opponent plays ab. And idle was the only out. So, absolutely cracking game. Very high scoring. A lot of bingos. Back-to-back bingos for me at the start of the game with Frabjus and Inertiae. But then in the middle of the game, opponent comes back with back-to-back bingos of his own with Aviator and scoring, and it was enough to launch him into a lead which I was not able to do anything about, or not to do enough about. So absolutely cracking stuff. I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.